and gentlemen, it's Sunday evening, it's Arshad Ahi, and tonight we're going to be talking about deal trading. We're going to be talking about how you can do it too, and why I think this is the perfect strategy or skill to have in your toolbox as a property investor. So, and we'll also be talking about how I traded a number of deals in 2016 and made a lot of money in the process. So last year, just so that you know, in 2016 I traded just over 250 property deals, so that's 250 property transactions, properties that I didn't own, had no intention of owning, and all I did is I simply controlled the transaction. And tonight we're going to be showing you how you can do it too. Very simple to do, and like I said, you don't require any money, you don't require any experience, and it's a very straightforward and easy thing to do. Right, so let's get moving on. If you are online, I want you to just say a quick hello. Let me know that you can hear me nice, loudly and clearly so that I can see, and just make sure that you can, and we've got no issues with that. Yeah? Right, okay, so first of all I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time this evening. I appreciate that. There's lots of things that you could be doing with your time. It's Bank Holiday Sunday. You could be out partying with your friends, you could be out liaising, you could be doing a number of things, but I want to say thank you for being with me. Time's the most precious commodity, and I guarantee that this is going to be the best 60 to 90 minutes that you're going to make as an investment into yourself. So let's talk through. I'll tell you what we will do. Actually, one thing that I forgot to do, guys, is on the webinar, we're actually going to open up the live cam as well so you can see me. So if you just let me know that you can see me, that'd be fantastic. Oh, hello, guys. Right, okay. So in 90 minutes, what you're going to see is, what you're going to hear is a simple 4-step deal trading system that has worked for me for the last 14 years. You're going to see how I use my simple 4-step process to trade approximately 1 deal a month, and how you can do it, making in excess of 60 grand a year just on part-time hours. And I'm going to be talking to you about the 5 different types of deals that you can source, which opens up the opportunity, the wealth of opportunity. One thing that I want you to do is actually look at every property that you go to or you see, and I want to make sure that you're actually appraising it in the best shape and form. Because so many people get stuck in this trick of being a one-trick pony, and they forget about all the other opportunities. So why should you listen to me? So who is Arshad Ahi? Well, first of all, I'm very proud to announce that I'm a monthly columnist in a magazine called Your Property Network. It's one of the, I think it's one of the largest readerships for property investment magazines. So it's known as YPN, or Your Property Network. I'm a columnist in the HMO magazine, which is the HMO specific magazine. I was featured on Channel 4 in a program called Britain's Benefit Tenants, and I was Entrepreneur of the Year. Well, sorry, I was runner-up of Entrepreneur of the Year in the British Muslim Awards in 2016. I'm a regular speaker at property events up and down the country, and I'm also the author of Amazon bestseller book called Boom Bust and Back Again. On top of that, the one thing that I'm quite proud to announce is that I'm not a person that talks about property but that doesn't actually do property. I'm actually a doer and not a speaker, if that makes sense. So I make all my money off property and from property, as opposed to training in property, if that makes sense. I know far too many people who've gone off and done a workshop in property over a weekend, and all of a sudden they've become an expert. I've been in property nearly full-time 17 years, but I've been in property, when I say I've been in property, I've actually been actively involved in property 32 years, and bearing in mind that I'm only 36 years old. So from the age of 4, you know, I was brought up around property, and as a result, I've seen it, I've heard it, and there's not a great deal that people could say to me that would shock me in property. I started deal trading business on a student-sized savings, and within the space of 3 years, I made in excess of £6 million, and I'm actually a property investor myself. So this year alone, we've bought in excess of 40 units, so we're consistently buying. So I'm not a person that just talks about it and doesn't do it. I'm a person that does it first and then teaches you about what I've done thereafter. So there's going to be a bonus. One thing that we're going to give a bonus tonight is called the Ultimate Vendor Questions. And what you have to do, this is going to help you negotiate more deals and have fun in the process. So it's gonna give you all the questions that vendors are going to ask you, and it's also going to give you the kind of answers that you should be giving in order to implement or give some confidence to the vendor. But I'll be giving you that at the end of tonight's webinar. So you have to stay with me. Hi Daniel, that's on Facebook. If you want a quick shout out, feel free to say hi. Andrew Hussey on the webinar says I'm muted. Andrew, everyone is muted on the webinar. The only person that isn't muted is myself. So that is completely normal. One thing I would say to you is that if you've got any questions, stick them in the box and that'd be fine. Okay, so what is deal trading? For those, has anyone got an idea of what deal trading is? Now, deal trading comes under a number of different banners. It could be deal sourcing, it could be deal packager, it could be deal trader, it could be glorified estate agent. You decide. You tell me right now. Just put it in the comments box, and the whole session tonight is about being interactive. So if you can tell me, what is your idea of what is a deal trader? Just take a moment there. Okay, so a couple of people said, I've got no idea, no clue whatsoever. Okay, no problem. So some people bought sourcing properties for property investors. Okay, yeah, we're kind of on the right lines. So I've put it on a nutshell is that we are almost like a glorified estate agent exclusively for property investors. So we're not selling on, well, generally speaking, we're not selling on behalf of homeowners. So if a homeowner is looking to sell their property so that they can move up the ladder, down the ladder, yes, we can potentially help them. But predominantly, we're looking for deals that we can sell directly on for property investors. So Phil has put, who's on Instagram, hi Phil, he goes, estate agents for estate agents. Potentially, that's a good way of looking at it, because yes, we do get a lot of deals off estate agents, so we make them do all the hard work by going off and finding deals, and as a result of that, yes, we then put them out to our investors. So we get the deals off estate agents, we sell them on to property investors, everyone makes money. So we'll be talking about how we can do that shortly. What we're actually doing is we're helping homeowners that have been let down by high street agents because their house hasn't actually sold. You sell the deal onto a property investor that would also like to build their portfolio. Does that make sense? So we're just going to go through it. So why is deal trading so important? So I've talked about this a lot. So it's a skill that I think every property investor needs to have in their toolbox. Now, if you're a deal trader, basically you're a property sourcer. When we're talking about sourcing property, you're going out and finding a deal for yourself. And the beautiful thing with deal sourcing is that you actually get to see the deal first. Now, would you agree with me that, okay, so Andrew said, we're not actually hearing you, mate. Okay, so is everyone else hearing me okay? If you can just let me know. Andrew, if everyone else can hear me clearly. Okay, so you're the only person having the issue with it, Andrew. If you can log out, I'm just going to say to him, log out and log back in. See if that helps him. Okay, sorry, just trying to help people as we go along. So the beautiful thing that I say about deal traders is that, would you agree to me, would you agree with me, let's just see if I can get this camera down, would you agree with me that you get the best form of deals when you're with the source direct, which means that, for argument's sake, when you've gone to a auction, how many people are you now bidding against? When I say that, you've got to remember that there's going to be the best part of how many. Let's say you go to a larger auction, 200-300 people in the room. At that point, are you in control of that deal? The clear answer to that is no, because you don't know. Well, let's just say that you're going in with a budget of £100,000. The person next to you that may be bidding for the same property may go in there with a budget of 105,000. Person next to him, 110, 150, 200. You know, sometimes it can get blown completely out of proportion. And the fact is that when it's out to that number of people, you are not in control. I've been there. You know, I've been in a property that I've been in an auction where I really wanted the property and I lost control. I went there with a budget of £80,000. I ended up spending £115,000. My ego got the better of me. I started to buy with emotion as opposed to logic. But the beautiful thing is with deal trading and being a deal sourcer is that you are in complete control. If you're in direct contact with the vendor, if you're in direct contact with the agent who's in contact with the vendor, you're going to get the best deal. And the beautiful thing is, once you've got that deal and you've got it some form of exclusivity, you then decide what you're going to do with it. Are you going to trade it? Are you going to keep it for your own portfolio? You know, there's a meridian of different options that are open to you once you've got that deal. Are you going to try and find JV funding for it, and then you're going to turn it into HMO? You're going to turn it into development? Are you going to, you know, is it going to be a service accommodation unit? Is it going to be a standard buy-to-let unit? You know, is it going to be a lease option? Whatever it's going to be, you know, the answer, you've got that answer, but you've got, it's a great problem to have, should I say. The beautiful thing with deal trading, you don't require a deposit, because then if you decide to just literally take it and trade it, no deposit required, you don't actually need any experience, and there's actually no problems. Beautiful thing with deal trading is that there aren't actually any tenants, because if you decide not to keep it and you decide to trade it, you actually can start and stop this at any time. Now, with for those that have got property portfolio themselves, they'll know that they can't just stop at any point, because they have to sell the property. They then have to do something with that property to redeem the mortgage, pay the bank back, and as a result, they then have to pay the mortgage back, and then any profit made is then theirs thereafter. Beautiful thing with deal trading is because you're not actually acquiring the property. There's nothing legally binding to keep you to that deal. Does that make sense? We'll be talking about agreement shortly anyway, because I believe that this is the ultimate freedom strategy. This is the ultimate no excuses strategy. As a deal trader, your role is to find landlords and homeowners that are struggling to sell their house, and to offer them a unique solution. A unique solution is a key word here, because what you are in essence as a deal trader is actually a problem solver. When we talk about problem solving, you're actually going out and you're doing deals for them. When you then sell the deal onto a property investor for a fee. So your commission in this whole transaction is the fee that you make in the middle. So let's just say the vendor wants £100,000. Let's just say it's worth £150,000 and you negotiated a great discount at £100,000. So there's 50,000 equity. Then you decide to sell it on to the purchaser, who's your purchaser in your database. Let's just say that you sell it to them for £100,000 plus a fee. And let's say, for argument's sake, £5,000. Your commission, that whole transaction, is £5,000. So you make cash flow without actually buying the property. So in essence, yes, we are almost like a glorified estate agents. And as a result of that, you know, you can actually make a very good living. You can live from anywhere in the world, and you know, proof of that is, we're going to show you proof of that a little later on. Now, one of the biggest things that we find, is people don't trust themselves. When I say they don't trust them, when they say they don't trust themselves, they don't think that there are deals in their area. Now, when we say that, let's think about it. Now, if you're online, regardless whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on the webinar, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Instagram, you tell me right now, do you believe there are deals in your area, or do you believe that they don't simply exist in your area? Because believe it or not, there's so many deals in all areas, but we just don't look at them in the correct manner. That's my personal belief anyway. We don't look at them in the correct manner. As a result of that, we miss upon far too many opportunities. As a result of that, we don't actually get any deals done. Okay, so Swan, straight away, to come in, airports, they do not exist. And believe it or not, that's a belief of a lot of people. They're saying that they do not exist. And there's nothing wrong with that. Well, there is. It just means that if you've told yourself they do not exist, you've already said to yourself that you can't do it. Because you then say, okay, so Swan is based in Sutton Coldfield. Believe it or not, okay, so Sutton Coldfield is based in the West Midlands. I know that because I'm actually based in Wolverhampton myself. And if he's saying that deals don't exist in Sutton Coldfield, then they must not exist. But if I was to say to you that West Midlands as a whole is an actual hotspot, and we find deals around the West Midlands pretty much on a weekly basis, you're not looking hard enough, or you're not looking for the right kind of deals. And apologies for being so hard and so strong on you there, Swan, but you're not looking in the right areas, you're not looking for the right deals. Phil, who's on Instagram, he's actually come up with a great question. He goes, the problem is most owners realise the value of their property. That's very true. Last thing you want to do, Phil, is go to a property and tell them that it's only worth 70,000 when it's actually really worth 100,000. Because technically speaking, you'd be lying. And the one thing that you don't want to do is be trying to pull the wool over someone's eyes. What you still have to do is you have to make sure that you're not convincing them. Convincing them is the wrong word. What you need to do is you need to be showing them that what you're doing is actually a good deal for them and a great deal for you too. You can actually source across the entire country. And tonight what we're going to be showing you is how you can trade deals you haven't even personally seen. And I'll show you how. Now, for those that, if you're on the webinar, you will have already, assuming, been already on my email list. So this week alone, you would have seen a number of deals come out to you on email database. Now, if you can, just let me know whether you've received them, whether you've seen deals that come through. And if you're on Instagram, tell me if you've seen deals. If not, then what you may need to do is get yourself onto our email database and you'll see the deals come through every week or every day. Because you can actually trade deals, use all the deals that you've seen. I personally wouldn't have been able to get out to all of them, and that's impossible for me to do. You know, on average, this year we're on average, we're on target to trade just under 500 deals, and it's impossible. That's equivalent to 10 a week. It's going to be impossible for me to see 10 properties in a week, appraise them, negotiate them, and do that all. So, you know, a lot of the work can be done off desktop research, and believe it or not, it really is as simple as that. So when you source 5 deal types, you will never be short of opportunities, which means that trade, and one of the problems that I find is that in the property business is that we get too focused on one strategy. So I've got to look for BMV deals. I've got to look for BMV deals. I've got to look for BMV deals. But if you widen that, I know it sounds daft, but this really struck a chord with me a couple of years back. So I've been known to drive a little bit fast my time, and I've been on a couple of, let's say, what are those programs called? Speed awareness programs. And one thing that the instructor actually said to me, and it struck a chord with me, because you've got 2 kinds of visions. You've got tunnel vision, which means that you're looking straight ahead, or you've got funnel vision, which means that you're actually taking advantage of all the things that are in the surrounding area. And that really struck a chord with me. So when we start looking at stuff at tunnel vision, it means that we're only seeing these things right in front. So if I'm only telling myself that I'm only going to buy below market value deals, fact is that anything that's not below market value, I'm going to start batting away, and I'm going to say, sorry, not doing anything with that, not doing anything with that, not doing anything with that. And as a result of that, we could be losing deals pretty much every day, which means it could cost you hundreds of thousands of pounds throughout the year. However, if you start looking at almost tunnel vision, you'll see a lot more opportunities. So when you start looking at, okay, it doesn't fit the BMV box, no, tick. Could it be a lease option? Possibly, question mark. Could it be a rent-to-rent opportunity? Possibly, question mark. Could we do some form of development with it? Possibly, question mark. Could it be something like a service accommodation unit? Possibly, question mark. And this is what we start looking at. So we start to become a little bit more creative with our way of thinking. And as a result of that, we're no longer a one-trick pony. As a result of that, you won't suffer from the same frustration because of being a one-trick pony. And I'll show you how to source 5 different types of deals. So, guys, what we're going to do, the guys that are on Instagram, the guys that are on Facebook, what we're going to do, we're going to close the broadcast now. If you want to join us live, you can join us on our webinar. And again, the link is bit.ly/BH Sunday, all in capitals. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and no doubt I will speak to you all very soon. Take care, guys. Good night. God bless. Guys on the webinar, stay with me. And let's just carry on. So I'm just gonna. So let's keep moving on, right, guys? On the webinar, you've got my full attention now, guys. Right. So keep moving on. So I shared this story last week, and it actually struck a chord with quite a few people. So I'm going to possibly just tell it again. So I'm, without a doubt, I am a wheeler dealer. When I say wheeler dealer, I love a bloody good deal. Now, who doesn't? You know, for argument's sake, if you can get something a lot cheaper than what the market value is, you know, why wouldn't you love a deal? And give you an example. I negotiate on absolutely everywhere. If I go to a supermarket, I negotiate. If I go into what's John Lewis and places like that called? Sorry, my mind's gone blank. So if I go to somewhere like John Lewis, I will try and negotiate a discount, regardless of how big or how small it may be. I don't want to pay the department stores. Thank you very much for that, Margaret. I want to get a discount. And that's just possibly in my blood. So, for argument's sake, I went to John Lewis today because he's looking for a new home computer, and there was one on the market, one on for sale for £2,000. I actually managed to get it for £1,750 just by asking the right questions. And as a result of that, I got £250 discounts, which is just around, just slightly over 10%. And you can ask, because believe it or not, even in department stores, there's 10% goodwill gesture. And you can ask my wife, because my wife gets extremely embarrassed when I do this, but it is possible. You know, if you ask, if you don't ask, you don't get. Now, the picture that you see up on your screen there is a picture of Rodney and Del Boy. Now, believe it or not, I am a full-on Del Boy. And I started trading markets when I was 16 years old. Now, admittedly, I knew I was always going to be involved in business. To what level, I never knew. And at 16 years old, when I just about pretty much failed all my GCSEs, I did a story this week about how I failed all my GCSEs, because it's actually 20 years this year. I knew that I had to make some form of income, because my father wasn't going to fund any education, any further education of mine. So a friend of mine said to me, he goes, my uncle's imports some watches. He goes, shall we start the markets? And I said, okay, that's great, but one thing, I don't have any money. My father wasn't willing to lend me the money because he thought it would be wasted, and it was a waste of my time. So he goes, he hasn't got any money either. So I decided to speak directly to this guy's uncle. As a result of that, we managed to get the watches on a sale or return basis. When we say sale or return, so he would give me, let's just say, for argument's sake, on the first market, he gave me a box of 100 watches. And off the back of that, let's say that we were selling the watches for £3 each. So it's £3. The offer that we put out was £3 each and 2 for £5. So they're very cheap watches. So he would normally sell them wholesale to all these other wholesalers for approximately £1, which meant that he was making quite a decent profit on them. And I said to him, well, I'll tell you what, if we can get the watches off you on a sale or return basis, I'll actually give you £1.15, which means that he's getting an extra 15 pence on each unit. Anything that we don't sell at the end of the day, you know, we'll keep full stock count. Anything that we don't sell at the end of the day, you actually have back. You've lost nothing, and if anything, you've only gained more sales, 15 pence per watch. And if we sell all 100 watches, okay, it's not a massive deal, but you're going to be in excess of £15 better off. He goes, okay, let's try it with 100 watches. First week, we sold out. Second week, we went up to 150 watches, sold out. By the end of the 6 weeks holiday, we were trading around 1,000 watches a day. So in the 6 weeks holiday, I decided to go down to the south coast. We did Ilfracombe, Willicombe, Minehead, Bideford, and then we came local. We did Uttoxeter, and then on Saturday, Sunday, we did Wellesbourne and not Doncaster, Silverstone, which was in Donington. Sorry. So yeah, I was pretty much 7 days full on. And I loved it because I love trading. I love the thought of trading, and it's exactly the same. What I do today is exactly the same today. So I have to negotiate with the vendor. So they've got a house for £100,000. I need to make sure that I can get it at a good enough deal in order for me to sell it to the end user. And in the story of the markets, my end user was the person buying the watches off me. I then get the money off the person, off the end user, and I give it to the seller, and I make a commission out of the centre. Very simple. So I was getting the watches for £1.15 off my friend's uncle. I was selling them for £3. So we were making £1.85 profit. So I would collect the £3, bring it in. I would give my guy the £1.15. I'd make £1.85 in the centre. Very straightforward. And, you know, believe it or not, it was so easy and it worked extremely well. Now, going back to deal trading, sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent there. So in 2003, I graduated with a degree in international business management, and it took, rather than look for a corporate job like my mates, I decided to start my own business because I wanted to live life on my own terms. When I told my mates that I was going to start a property business, they all laughed. They laughed because to buy property, you need a deposit and a proof of income, two things which I actually didn't have as a broke student. My plan was simple, to buy property with other people's money. JV finance. There's only one problem. With no track record and being only 21 years old, I couldn't raise JV finance. And seriously, would you give your hard-earned cash to a 21-year-old? After months of failure, it looked like my friends were right that I should have just got a safe corporate job. But I knew I was better than that. I knew I was better than that. And as a result of that, I went off to start looking at different ways at how we could make money from property without acquiring it. And tonight I'm going to be showing you how to use my deal trading system. But before we do that, I want to remind you that to transform your life with property cash flow, you need knowledge and action. Tonight I'm going to give you the knowledge, but you have to take the action. Now, everyone talks about the reason why. What is your reason why? I've shown hundreds of people how to use my success in deal trading system. There's only one thing that separates those who are successful and those that aren't, and it's knowing why you're doing this. Now, we all have bad days. We all have days where we want to quit. Those that succeed choose what they want more than what they want now. It's their reason why that makes it easy for them to choose what they want most on a consistent basis. Does that make sense? Does that resonate with any of you guys? Because here's my reason why. You know, it's very straightforward. I've got a very young family. I've got two very beautiful young daughters. So my eldest daughter is here. She's 4 years old. She turned 4. Was it this week? Yes, it was Tuesday this week. I've got my youngest daughter who's still 2 years old, and I've got my wife. So we're a very young family, and that's my reason why. That's the reason why I go out and do what I do every day, to make sure that these girls, so my wife and my 2 daughters, have a secure future and they don't have to worry about any of the finances going forward. Now, I've structured it in a manner so that if I was to pass away tomorrow, God forbid, that these girls are looked after. I've got to a point in my life now where, well, I'm completely financially free. But, however, I've structured all my debt in my portfolio to a certain point in my life. So when I woke up on my 45th birthday, I'm completely debt free. So just giving you, you know, these are little snippets as to looking at my short, medium, and long-term vision. I saw this just before I came on the webinar. I thought it was quite fitting actually, so I thought I'd throw it in there. Love what you do. Love where you do it. Love who you do it with. And love who you do it for. Now just think about that, because if you can tick all 4 boxes, you are in such a beautiful place. Love what you do. Yes, I love what I do. Love where you do it. Well, I love where I do it because I can actually do deal trading from anywhere. Love who you do it with. Well, I actually do, I've got a group of 12 businesses with my business partner, who's my brother, Aki Ilahi. So he's very much in the scene, back in the back of the scenes, in the back office, and he's actually, I go out and create the mess, he kind of controls the paperwork side of it in the back office. And so, yeah, naturally I love him. I love who you do it for. So the people who I do it for, naturally, are my family. So I've got my thought, and when I read that, I thought that was actually a perfect quote. Don't know who said it, but as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to borrow it. So I'm going to ask you a question now. Take a moment right here just to think about, what is your reason why? What's your reason why? Why are you doing this? You know, why are you here this evening? There's a number of things that you could be doing. I'm going to be talking shortly about something in a second. It's something that's quite current. Admittedly, we're going to go off on a bit of a tangent, but the reason being is that I want you really to really focus on your reason why. So write down, what is your reason why? Why are you here? What intrigues you about deal trading? Okay, so I've got a few of you, a few of them coming through. Now, did anyone? Here's our interactive session, and here's what I need you to say. Does anyone, or is anyone on the webinar, watch the McGregor Mayweather fight last night? Did anyone watch the boxing last night? If so, I don't want you to comment on whether you thought it was a good fight or anything like that. Okay, so a couple of people are saying yes, a couple of people are saying no. Now, the reason why I'm saying did you watch boxing? Reason being is that so many people put so much effort into commenting, talking about the boxing, you know, saying that they're going to order it and stuff. But yet, when we ask, do they want to be able to be financially free, they kind of go into a bit of a trance and saying that we can't do it. Now, a lot of people went to a lot of effort with boxing, so they went off and ordered it, they went off and started talking about it, they went off and actually woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to start watching the boxing. Now, if you put the same energy into your deal sourcing business, there's no reason why you won't succeed. And what I actually did, instead of waking up to watch the boxing, I still haven't watched the boxing, by the way. It's got no interest to me. Because let's face it, it's not going to have any impact on my life, and as a result, I want to work on my reason why. So I actually got up to prove to myself that I could be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. As a result of being up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I actually started looking for deals. That's how sad I am. But the reason being is that when I thought, well, whilst I'm on this webinar, I'll say, well, whilst the world are watching the boxing, I was actually looking for deals, and as a result of that, I reckon we've got 2 deals in the pipeline just from being online this morning at 4 o'clock. So as Warren Buffett said, observe the masses and do the opposite. That's exactly what I did. Whilst everyone else was fixated on boxing, I decided to go off and do something different. I decided to focus on my reason why, really home in on my reason why, and make my whole world around my reason why. And as a result of that, I now know that we're in a position where we'll never have to worry. So if you want financial freedom, you've got to really figure out about how much money will you need and when you need this by. So the 4-step simple trading system is very simple. First of all, we've got to find a deal. So to find a deal, believe it or not, there are 21 different sources, techniques that I use on a regular basis. We don't have time to go through all of them tonight. And of course, that would only confuse you because we can't cover 21 strategies in 1 hour. So, plus I'm sure you want to know which one is best, and more importantly, which one is going to be of most use to you and is completely free. Now, the fastest, easiest, and cheapest way to get started, without a doubt, is estate agents. Well, when we talk about estate agents, why estate agents? Now, ask yourself the question, why would you rob banks? And the very simple answer is because that's where the money is. And when you think about property, 90% of all properties are sold through estate agents. So why wouldn't you make your life easy and go where all the properties are actually being sold? Does that kind of make sense? You know, we're not having to reinvent the wheel here. You know, we want to make our life as simple as possible. We don't want to be having to chase. We don't have to be spending all of our time chasing people to do that. And let's face it, if you want to turn this into a mass business, you've got to go to where it's already in existence. Now, a couple of people, while Swan has said that it's impossible to find deals, you know, in his location of Sutton Coldfield. I completely disagree, because actually estate agents need your help to sell tired properties, because you've got to think about this logically. Now, how do estate agents operate? Now, what do estate agents do? Now, just think about this logically. What do estate agents do? Estate agents sell properties. And estate agents only make their money or only make their fee once they've sold their property. So if you can find a solution where they can sell their property, you can make some money out of the centre, and investor is still getting a pretty good deal, would you say it's a win-win-win scenario? Win for the estate agent because their homeowner is thinking that they're the best agent in town. They're then spreading the word that this agent has sold their property quickly and effectively. The estate agent has won because they've made a fee. Now, I've won because I've found a property that I haven't had to do very much work for. It's on with an agent who's given me exclusivity to the property. I've then found it to my investor. I've sold it to my investor. The investor thinks it's the best thing ever because we've found it. We've put him in contact with a property that he probably would never have seen before. He's got it at a decent discount, or there's some decent value in the property. And as a result of all three things, everyone wins. The investor's got a great property. The agents have sold another property on their books. The vendor is very happy because it then allows them to move on with their life. And I win because I've done another deal. We've made some money out of the centre, and we've helped everyone. We've helped the agent, who means that they're going to be extremely happy to start sending me more deals. And the investor is happy because he's going to potentially buy more deals off me in the future. And I've got investors that buy approximately 4 or 5 deals off me every month. So here's a couple. So we've got Helen and Gareth. Helen and Gareth Firth, based up in towards Bolton. So Helen said, my husband and I started working with Arsh in January 2016. In less than a month, sorry. We traded our first deal for £4,000 fee. The 3-bed semi was a property in need of repair. It was found through an estate agent, so it was free to get started. Arsh sold the deal to his list in less than a day. It was amazing to make money so quickly with property. We now trade 1 deal a month, and all of our deals come through estate agents. So that's Gareth and Helen Firth, who are based in Bolton. Now, believe it or not, Gareth and Helen are still in their full-time roles, and it's not just because they actually love what they do. So they work within the civil forces, and they actually love what they do. So they don't want to actually, believe it or not, regardless of how many properties they've got, they still don't want to give up their jobs. Now, this guy is nothing short of anything inspirational, because to the person that you've got on the right of your screen is a gentleman called Rahil. So Rahil is actually based in Saudi Arabia, and he actually works a very tough 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. So he works a solid 72 hours a week. So he goes, Arsh gave me all the support and advice that needed before trying something new. Through speaking with Arsh, asking lots of detailed questions, I found the confidence to get out of my comfort zone and build a property trading business. As I'm currently living in Saudi Arabia, all of my research has been done online, mainly Rightmove and Zoopla. All of my deals have been sold through Arsh and have sold in less than a day. Believe it or not, we sold 2 deals on Friday afternoon through my database, and they haven't actually gone out on email. They just went through people in my little black book. It goes, and these 2 deals were actually Rahil's deals. So Rahil said, I've got some properties, but they're on a bit of a time scale. We need to sell them quickly. And so I went to some people that I knew were looking in that location, and we've actually got them secure. When we've got them secure, we've had reservations on them, and it works extremely well because it means that he's sold another 2 deals. And off that transaction alone, Rahil has made £6,000. He goes, this makes deal trading a very simple process because all I have to do is find the deal and Arsh takes care of the rest. So after 3 months trading deals in my spare time, I've made £15,000 in sourcing fee. That's more than I'm earning in my full-time 70-hour-a-week job. So that's Rahil Chakura, based in Saudi Arabia. So let's keep moving on. Now, this system is not new. Believe it or not, these testimonials are not new. The system is not new. I've helped hundreds of other people improve the quality of their life with deal trading. That's why I'm showing you old testimonials. Deal trading is not new. Deal trading is a form of an estate agency. So basically, think about it in its simplest form. We find deals and we sell them to property investors, pretty much like an estate agency. They don't find deals, people approach them with properties that they're going to sell, and then they sell them on to homeowners. And it's very simple as that. Because what I don't want you to do, I don't want you to judge me on my success. I want you to judge me on the success of my students. Judge me on my ability to help you transform the quality of your life with property cash flow. Now, when we talk about success with estate agents, now there's a three-step system to sourcing success with estate agents. First of all, you've got to tell estate agents what you're looking for. Second of all, you've got to buy and trade the deals you say you will. And third, you've got to watch them send you more deals. Now, the one thing that you don't want to do, and I've been guilty of this myself, so don't be afraid if you've done this. You don't want to walk into an estate agent and say, Hi everyone, my name's Arsh Elahi. I'm a property investor and I'm a cash buyer, and we're going to complete within 7 days, and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and but I only want properties that have got 30% discount. Because they will sit there, they'll listen to you, they'll humour you. Yes, we've heard this about a million times before. The moment you're going to leave the door, your business card is going to go straight into the bin. Yeah, how many times? Be truthful here. How many of you have actually gone into an estate agent with that kind of pitch? Hi, my name's I'm a property investor, I'm a cash buyer, I'll complete within 7 days. We're looking for properties that are tired properties, we're looking for properties that and the average offer that we're going to make is around 25% below market value. Because believe it or not, that's not what they're interested in. Because what they're after is someone to buy their property. What they're after is for someone to deliver on their promise. So if you say that you're going to complete within 7 days, you've got to be able to complete in 7 days. Now, the beautiful thing with deal trading is that if you're transparent from day one, there's no reason why an estate agent won't deal with you. And I deal with estate agents on a day-by-day basis. And the beautiful thing with estate agents is that they love the fact that I'm straight with them. So I'll say, you've got the deal, I will find you the buyer. I am not your end buyer. I'm very clear on that basis. I will never tell an estate agent that if I'm trading the property, I will tell them that I'm trading the property. Because the estate agents, as far as they're concerned, everything still remains the same. Their vendor will sell the deal. They will have sold the property to one of my investors. And after I've negotiated the deal between the estate agent and the investor, I will step out the centre, and those guys carry on as a standard transaction. So nothing changes from the estate agent's point of view. The only thing that changes is that they'll have to give me exclusivity to the deal so that I can go out and actually market the property for them. Now, there are 5 different deal types, because when you look at properties, you've got buy-to-let, you've got rent-to-rent, you've got lease options, you've got HMO opportunities, you've got land. When you talk about HMO, you could also talk about service accommodation. So you could, in essence, say that there's 6 opportunities. So standard, let's just say for argument, standard 2-bed mid-terrace property. It's never going to be anything other than like a standard buy-to-let or a rent-to-rent deal, or sorry, not rent-to-rent or a lease option deal, because you've got no option to HMO it. There'd probably be no cash flow in it on a rent-to-rent basis, so you'd probably be in it for the long term on that. Now, here's one of the guys. So this guy is an interesting chap. So here's a gentleman called Avi. Here's a chap called Chaim, and Chaim and his friend approached me in June earlier this year, and they said, Arsh, we want to start deal trading. And I said, okay. He goes, but one of the biggest problems that we've got is that we're very orthodox of the Jewish community. And I said, that's fine. He goes, so there's certain times that we can definitely not work, and one of them being Saturday. I said, that's fine. You don't need to work Saturday. You decide when you work and when you don't work. So there are a couple of things, there are certain things that they can and they can't do. And we have to respect their faith. So they started working with me in June 2017, and we wanted to have more time with our young families. We quickly found an investor on Gumtree by simply following Arsh's system, who wanted to sell her entire portfolio because she was getting old. Amazingly, our first deal was a block of 14 flats in Blackpool. Arsh found a buyer through his network, and it was Arsh and his investors that viewed the property. Avi and I couldn't make the viewing because it was on a Saturday, and we don't work Saturdays because we are Jewish. We sold our first deal without viewing the property for a fee of £8,000. Thank you, Arch, for making this such a simple process. So that's Chaim and Avi, both based in Manchester, and it works extremely well for them. Now, step 2 is agree a purchase price. So your job as a deal trader, excuse me. So your job as a deal trader is to solve property problems. Most people struggle or fail to trade deals because they're only looking for a property discount. But when you meet a homeowner, you need to solve their property problem, not buy their house at a discount. You now know that you can trade 5 deal types. This frees you up from the BMV, one-trick pony trap, so you can help the homeowner. So if it doesn't fit the fact that it's not a BMV deal, you can start to look through all the other things. Could it be a great HMO? Could we add value somewhere along the line? Could it be a lease option? Could we agree a rent-to-rent deal on it? Do they have to sell today? Is their need for selling today greater than their ability to sell to us today? Because you have to look at what their pain and motivation is. The secret to solving the landlord's or owner's problem is to understand their pain and motivation. What do they need to achieve? And what is stopping them from having it? Those 2 questions are the keys to your deal trading success. Does that make sense? Have I lost anyone in that process? Feel free to speak out. If I've gone too fast for you, don't be afraid just to say, oh, you might need to slow down on it. Right, okay. Just making sure. Okay, so everyone's saying that's still with us. So to make the landlord or homeowner want to sell their house, all you have to do is wrap the solution around their specific problem. Now, as a chain angel, you could say that yourself like you're a bit of a chain angel because you buy their house and you complete within 7 days, so they don't actually lose their dream house. Does that make sense? So, have you ever been in scenarios where they start to get involved in the chain? Well, you as a deal sourcer, in actual fact, actually help that whole process. Because if they're reliant on buying somewhere else, you can actually come in and say, well, in actual fact, we've got this guy, he's prepared to buy your property, and as a result, it all starts to move pretty straightforward. You are doing much more than simply buying their house quickly. What the owner cares about is that you're actually helping them buy their dream house or help them with their solution. So, for argument's sake, someone may be emigrating. Some people may be emigrating. Some people may be upsizing. Some people might be downsizing. Some people may be retiring. There's a number of different problems out there, and what you need to do is find a solution to each and every one of them. Now, you could present a unique solution, for argument's sake, in scenarios where there may not be enough equity in the property. You can offer the landlord a guaranteed income for the next 7 years, almost like on a rent-to-rent or lease option. This solves their immediate problem and gives them peace of mind for the future. Now, for argument's sake, this week, on Friday, we actually did a deal with a landlord in West Bromwich where we offered him a 5-year guaranteed rent. The landlord was actually based abroad. He had a letting agent that was dealing with the property, dealing with it badly. The property came back to him after they had to evict a tenant, left a load of damage. Now we've offered him a 5-year deal at a rent of £450 a month, and it's going to be turned into a quite successful HMO because it's in quite a prominent location. As a result of that, it's going to cash flow of around £1,000 a month. Now this solves their immediate problem. And it gives them peace of mind for the future because them being out of the country, they don't really want to have to deal with agents on a day-to-day basis. And as a result of that, they've got 5 years of peace of mind. So here's a chap called Daryl Hatfield. And what he said is that Arch gets you into a mindset of possibilities. The most powerful thing that I've learned from Arch is to look for owners' pain and motivation. That might not sound like much, but that is where the gold is. Once you understand the owner's pain and motivation, you can find a win-win solution. Find the problem, create a solution, and make a fortune in the process. Success really is as simple as that. The best example is that as a care home provider with 6 properties they wanted to get off their books. The properties were difficult to value because they were bespoke buildings, and they were difficult to view because of the patients. These 2 factors made the properties virtually impossible to sell. That was the seller's pain and motivation. The problem that I had was funding the deal. The 6 properties had a £3.5 million value, and even with the discount I negotiated, I didn't have the 25% deposit. Now, the wonder of property is that you find a great deal, there's always a solution to be found, and in this case, I funded the deal with none of my own money. It took a few months to pull off, and now it gives me just over £10,500 monthly cash flow. That's Daryl Hatfield. So, if you'd like to invest in property, but you don't think you can, you don't have a deposit or any previous experience, then I'd like to tell you about something that I've created called the Deal Trading Bootcamp. It's a 2-day workshop that removes both of the problems from your property journey and gives you the skills and the confidence to start making property cash flow the very next day. I want you to stay with me here, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the other 2 steps as well. So what I generally teach people is 21 different ways to source deals, 5 different types of deals you can trade, the deal analysis that goes along with it, looking at discount, cash flow development on all 3, the negotiation secrets to effortlessly create a win-win scenario, 10 ways to build an audience to sell your deals to, and the 10-step persuasion process to instantly sell your deals, as well as have all the contracts, the deal analyzers, and the scripts to get you started the very next day, and a recording of the entire event. Normally something like that would cost you in excess of £2,000. That's less than half the profit that you'd make on your first deal. Now, going back onto it, step 3 is building an audience, because the greatest thing is that with anything, having all the deals and no one to sell them to is kind of pointless. And that's, I suppose, one of the issues that estate agents have, because they're reliant on people coming to them to find the deals. Now, they're reliant on people walking past their window to say, oh, I actually like that house. Now, if you've got all the deals and you've got no one to sell them to, it's kind of a double-edged sword. If you've got all the people looking for deals and no deals in the pipeline, again, it's a double-edged sword. So you've got to balance it quite well. So what you need to do is sell your deals in less than a day. You need a large audience of hungry buyers. There are 10 simple ways to build an audience of hungry buyers for low or actually no costs. And I've just listed, 10 ways on the screen right there. So we've got newspaper ads, we've got magazine ads, we've got Google ads, Facebook groups, LinkedIn, networking, Gumtree, Spare Room, and Easy Roommate. That's just 10 ways that you can build a database very quickly with very little work. We don't have time to go through all these tonight, but what we'll do, we'll look at one simple and free way to build an audience. And the best way to do that is by looking at LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a free way to build your own database of simple buyers. Simply type property into the search bar, and then, believe it or not, there's actually 5.5 million people with property in their profile and has an interest in property. So what you could do, it's very time consuming, and what you could do is you could actually message each of them individually with a short and simple introductory message. Hi, my name's Olin. Hi, my name's Olin. We're both property investors. I'd like to add you to my network so that we can help each other grow our businesses and avoid costly mistakes. Something on the lines of that. And as a result of that, once they've accepted your invitation to connect, you can send them a follow-up message letting them know who you are and what you do. So you can say that you're a sourcer. You'd like to try and find out what types of deals they're struggling to find. And this actually opens up the conversation in a friendly and helpful manner, so that once they've actually given you permission to add them to your database, which you then can start emailing them deals. So slowly but surely, this is a way that you can start. Now, admittedly, you've got to remember that when I first started back in early 2000, LinkedIn didn't exist, nor did Facebook, nor did any of the other bits. So, admittedly, my database of 100,000 property investors has taken me a long time to build up, because we had to do it the hard way. We had to market for them. We had to go and find them. We had to, liaise with them. We had to have meetings with them. And as a result of that, but now you've got all this beautiful thing of social media, technology. It's all at your fingertips, and there's no reason why you can't do this. Now, step 4 is, believe it or not, my favourite step for obvious reasons. Getting to this point means that you've succeeded with the other 3 steps. So you've got the property, you've negotiated a great discount, you've actually found a buyer, and now you get to sell it and get paid. But remember, you can't take your eye off the ball at this point when it matters most. Because just because you've got a great deal and an audience of buyers doesn't mean that it will sell easily. You have to show your audience why they should buy your deal. Your email has to give the prospective buyer everything they need to make an informed decision about your deal. This is a 10-step system that I use every day. Now, for argument's sake, just think about, for those that see my emails every day, just think about what actually is involved in that email. So we put the location, we kind of put the pictures and the condition of the property. We talk about the market value, we try and back that up with proof, with comparables. We talk about the purchase price, we potentially talk about a discount if there is one. We talk about the sourcing fee, we talk about the vision, we talk about the cash flow, we talk about the total required to purchase, and we put the one call to action in. There are quite a few questions coming through, so don't worry, guys. What we do, we'll be going through all the questions, so don't panic. We've still got quite a while to do that. Because what you can actually do to get started faster, you can actually reduce the 4-step system to just one, so you have less to learn about and focus on, so you can profit faster. And that is when you JV with me. So you can do a joint venture with me where you find the deal and I'll sell it for you. If you source the deals through estate agents, it's actually free to get started, so you don't need to negotiate with the owner. I'll walk you through exactly how I put a persuasive email broadcast together to immediately sell your deal so that you can confidently do this in the future. And I'll sell your deal to my database in less than a day. This really is the fastest and easiest way to make property cash flow. And here's a lady, a beautiful young lady called Sarah Parks, based up towards Scotland. So she said, it's easy to think that it's impossible to find BMV deals in Scotland because of the closed bidding system for buying a house. That's definitely what held me back from taking action in the first few months. Once I decided to give it a try, I was amazed at what was possible. I made £6,000 from my first deal. I agreed a purchase price of £65,000 on a 3-bed terraced house with a market value of £140,000. The deal was sold within a day to Arsh's investor database. This made the deal trading process much easier, as I always viewed it as a guaranteed way to trade the deal for a healthy fee. Now I've got proof of the system works in Scotland. I'm going to make deal trading my focus as it is so lucrative. And believe it or not, Sarah actually sent me another deal on Friday, which we're yet to go through next week. Now here's a gentleman that again lives abroad. So his name is Russell Boakes. And he goes, Arsh showed me how to use a variety of online tools to build a property business that I can run from Marbella or anywhere in the world. All of my deals have been sourced at auction and have been sold to Arsh's investor database. Now you would have seen a deal come out last week, I think it was in County Durham. Believe it or not, that was Daryl's deal. That was actually sorry, not Daryl's deal, that was actually Russell's deal. Russell actually sourced that deal whilst he's in Marbella. Now, I don't know about you, but Russell hasn't flown all the way from Marbella to County Durham to have a look at the property. Believe it or not, he hasn't actually seen any of the deals that he sourced. Selling deals to Arsh's database has made the deal trading process quick and easy. I'm amazed that in just 6 weeks he's gone from knowing nothing about deal trading to already selling 3 deals, making £9,000 in fees, all whilst living in Marbella. This is the ultimate property freedom strategy that can be done anywhere in the world and can be stopped at any time. If you really want to build a deal trading business, all you need to do is follow Arsh's system and you will succeed. And again, that is Russell Boakes based in Marbella. Now, Sandeep is a very astute young lady. When she started working with me, she had no previous property experience. She explained, I explained the different strategies to her, and she decided on deal trading because she couldn't get started without any money. So far, she's traded 2 deals in 2 months and made £12,000 in sourcing fees. That's amazing. And as I said to you before, don't judge me on my success. Judge me on the success of my students who I've taught exactly the same process. Judge me on my ability to help you transform the quality of your life with property cash flow. Now, if you'd like to invest in property, but you don't think you can because you don't have a deposit or any previous experience, again, I want to tell you about the bootcamp. It's a 2-day workshop that removes both of the problems from your property journey and gives you the skills and confidence to start making property cash flow the very next day. So here's what we'll be learning on the course. So there's 21 ways to source deals. There's 5 actual types of deals you can trade. There's a deal analysis for discounts, cash flows, developments, or all 3. You've got the negotiation secrets to effortlessly create a win-win scenario, and you've got the 10-step persuasion system to instantly sell your deals. Plus you get the contracts, the deal analyzers, the scripts to all get started the very next day, and you get the recording of the entire event. So there's a load that you do. Now, I appreciate that not everyone can always attend events in person. Now, I myself have been guilty of that. Sometimes I really wanted to go to an event, but I get held up with family, commitment, etc., etc. So therefore, we want to include everyone in on this, and therefore there are multiple ways of getting involved. So you can attend in person, you can live stream from the comfort of your own home, and you can actually purchase recordings which come with all the associated documents. So what we'll be offering, some of the documents that you actually get is the BMV deal analysis spreadsheet. You get the rent-to-rent deal analysis spreadsheet. You get the lease option deal analysis spreadsheet. You get the HMO deal analysis spreadsheet. You get the lockout agreements. You get the property introduction agreements. You get the proven templates. You get the proven posters. You get the letter sequences to do for sale buyers. You get the proven newspaper adverts to generate for lead generation adverts. You get the ultimate vendor questions, plus a lot more. And finally, you get the 3 main blueprints, which I consult every day. Now, I created, believe it or not, guys, some actual flow charts. What I'll do is I'll quickly show you where they are. Sorry. Flow charts. So here's one that I created simply just off the back of. So how to deal with vendors, how to deal with estate agents and vendors. So I give you a full flow chart of exactly what to do so that you follow it step by step. So I've got flow charts like that. Deal with agents, how to deal with it with rent-to-rent, and how to deal with other sources as well. Because believe it or not, other sources can actually be a valuable way of getting other deals as well. You get to enjoy quick results when every action you take is a positive step forward towards finding, agreeing, and selling a lucrative deal. You get to watch your income soar as you easily trade multiple deals a month. You don't suffer the frustrations of being the one-trick pony and then struggle to find BMV deals. When you trade 5 deal types, then you'll never be short of opportunities, and that's the key thing. Don't be that one-trick pony. Don't be that person that only looks for BMV deals, only looks for lease option deals, only looks for SA opportunities. Look at them with, like I said, a tunnel vision. Look at them for all the opportunities. And when they come in, you start thinking, okay, it could do that, or it could do that, or it could do that. Okay, now I've got my vision. Start to become creative with property. And you can see how the potential, you'll be able to see the potential of every opportunity by looking at whether it's discount, income, or development potential, and how to confidently negotiate a win-win for you and the homeowner as you present a quick solution to their problem in a way that makes them want to sell you their house. This guarantees you never waste time on an opportunity. And the beautiful thing is that once you've negotiated, the biggest thing is that you want to be able to sell your deals in a day. When you build a list of buyers on a shoestring budget, I'll be showing you how to build a classified newspaper advert on a best part of a £50 budget, and it will get the deal, it will get the phone to ring for weeks, and how to profit from baby steps. Now, if you decide to JV with me, you find the deal and I'll sell it for you. It's as simple as that. Like this, you have less to learn, less to focus on, so that you can profit faster. And the investment to learn on how to build a deal trading business to replace your salary and income without a deposit, on average is around just short of £2,000, which is less than half the profit you'll make on your first deal. But here's what I'm going to do, because what we're after is testimonials. We're after fresh testimonials. We're looking for more success stories. Now, I know there's lots of people that go on workshops and then they're forced to write testimonials and put them up on Facebook. That's not what we're after. I want real testimonials after you've done real deals. I want stories that will inspire other people with no previous property experience to transform their life with property cash flow. So if you're willing to share your property success in a written or video testimonial, then you can save yourself £1,000. So you can attend the Deal Trader Bootcamp for just $997 per person. On top of that, because sometimes over a weekend it can be overwhelming that we give you all this information. After that, I actually do a 4-hour roundtable mastermind session in my office in Wolverhampton. Now, the mastermind session is designed to actually iron out any kinks that you've found since implementing the system, or to just pretty much get your head around what you've learned and what you can do and how you can do it. And this is a practical session which shakes you out of your comfort zone. Now, the last time I did a deal trading workshop was in July, and what I found was that the 4-hour session thereafter was the best session that they ever had, because they went out and found deals. You're going to see some deals come out this week in Stoke-on-Trent. So if anyone's interested in investment in Stoke-on-Trent, which is near enough in the West Midlands, just slightly outside, I think it's Staffordshire, houses which are converted into 6 flats each, at a very reasonable price at £150,000. If that's of interest, feel free to contact me. These are deals that have come out from some of the guys who went on the last workshop. It's a practical session which shakes you out your comfort zone, out of any implementation problems you may have, and onto the property cash flow that will improve the quality of your life. But that's for the first 10 buyers of tonight's webinar only. Okay, so right. So these property secrets only become valuable when you use them. Doing anything for the first time is hard and uncomfortable. The first time you rode a bike, you fell off. The first time you drove a car, you stalled it. The mastermind is my way of running behind you for the first time you get on a bike, so I can catch you before you fall. The session is designed to push you through your comfort zone, and the session is designed to help you succeed faster. The session will give you the deal flow to achieve your cash flow goals. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th of September 2017. The price is $997 per person. Now, one person has asked a question. So Heath has asked a question. Arsha, if I bring a colleague, is a deal for 2 of us. Now, normally we would do $997 per person, but I tell you what we will do is, we can't do buy one get one free because we'll actually be losing money on the workshop. What we can do though is that we could do buy one and bring your mate for half price. Does that make sense? So if that's of interest, I'm going to put my contact details up at the end of this webinar. You'll need to call me because I'll need to structure it in a manner. So that we can do it slightly different for you. So the venue details is that the Jury's Inn Hotel on Broad Street in Birmingham, which is 5 minutes walk from Birmingham main train station, and its times are 9 AM to 5 PM on both days. And the link to book on, very simply, is it's Deal Trading Bootcamp, bit.ly/Deal Trading Bootcamp. Don't worry, guys, I'm going to be going through a load of questions in a second. Now, everything that I do is that I give you 100% money back guarantee, because I know that what we offer is 100% of content. There is no upsell to this. So, there is no, oh, come on this, and then you'll go on a £5 course thereafter. There is none of that. And I guarantee you that. So there is no upsell. So you come on the workshop, you get to know exactly what we do, how we do it. And it's at no risk to you at all, because you come by my money back guarantee. So let's keep moving on. You can source property across the entire country from the comfort of your own sofa. So you've seen how Rahil and Russell have sourced property from a foreign country. And these aren't the only guys that have done it. Now, I've got one guy that's actually, we've got a deal going through at the moment. A chap called Chris is actually based in Bulgaria. And he's got a deal that's actually going through or close to finalising negotiation, hopefully on Tuesday. And these are all guys that are based abroad. Now, what makes you think you can't source property just because it's a couple of hours drive away? Remember, when you source deals through estate agents and auctions, you don't need to view the property. When you source 5 different types of deals, you'll see daily the opportunities in every town or city. And here's another chap. So Nick Swales has been involved in property a few years, and he's only ever had the steady and slow cash flow from buy to let. That's why I was so excited to learn about deal trading. He did 2 deals in 2 months and made £6 grand in sourcing fees. He found a 2-bed terraced house in Hartlepool that he actually found on Gumtree. The house was had a market value of $45,000, and he negotiated the purchase price down to $27,000. He couldn't believe that he got actually a 40% discount on a house in a rising market. But what can I say? Seeing is believing. This sold within a day to an investor on Arsh's database for £3,000. The second deal was a 3-bed house in Peterlee that was also found on Gumtree. Again, sold for £3,000 to Arsh's database. Deal trading is the perfect strategy for me, as I'm able to keep the best deals for myself and monetize those that are out of my area, and that's Nick Swales. So if you don't want to travel, no problem. You can join me from the comfort of your own living room, where you can live stream the event from the whole event, from the comfort of your own home. You can ask questions in the chat box and I'll answer them throughout the day. So again, you've got the link there to the you've got the bit.ly /deal trading bootcamp, and deal starts capital D, trading is capital T, and bootcamp is capital B. Okay, so quickly go. Sorry, I just had to answer a quick question there. So, what I'll take a couple of. Let's just have a quick look. I'll take a couple of questions right now. Then, so let me go through some of the questions that have come through. So, right. Okay, so just going through some of the questions that came through earlier. Okay, so Silwag says, do you think this works overseas? Believe it or not, this actually works all over. So like I said, we've shown you some people that is actually doing it from overseas. The strategy actually works all over the world. So for argument's sake, Russell is actually doing this in Marbella as well. Because believe it or not, if the strategies might differ slightly, so you might need to figure out what works in that market. But as a result of that, there's no reason why this can't work in all over the world. And I know for a fact it works in places like Dubai. Okay, so Yanni's asked a question. He goes, what if the mortgage is more than the property value? That's an easy one. Basically, there's no equity in the deal. Straight away, that turns into a lease option where you can potentially take control of the property for the rest of the term of the mortgage. Let's just say that's 10 years. And as a result of that, yes, you go off to do the deal and you make cash flow from the property as opposed to trade. And then you decide whether you trade it or whether you keep it. Okay, so Yanni has asked a couple of questions. Okay, so Yanni says, where do you mostly find your deals? And do we need money? Do we need money to do this business? Right. First question is, where do you find most of the deals? So a majority of the stuff that we do, well, I'd say 90 to 95% of it is all done online. So we don't actually physically go out and visit the property. So a lot of these done through estate agents, a lot of it done through auctions and letting agents. They're the 3 main things. We use a lot of property portals as well. Okay, so he says already retired. Okay, Uh, okay, so just quickly going through some of these. Right. So I've answered Heath. So Olin has said, "Can you send me the deal, please?" Olin, was that the one in Stoke-on-Trent? If you can, what you might need to do is, um, if you can let me know, Olin, and then I'll leave you my details at the end, and then you can go through that. Okay, so Paula said, "Will I need to have done the boot camp to JV with me?" The honest answer, completely hands up, is yes. The reason why I say that is because I need to show you how to present the. I get offered, believe it or not, I get in my email inbox every day. I get 20, 30 deals every day. Out of that, there's people that who aren't working with me and say, "What can we do this?" When I look through their deals, they're not actually deals, and I'm thinking, "Well, how can it possibly work?" So the reason why I'm saying, pal, that you need to come on the boot camp, you need to come on the boot camp in order for me to tell you how to evaluate deals, so that I'm only actually looking at deals that have actually passed through almost like. Um, Pass through my checklist that you're going to get, if that makes sense. So Nav says, how do you get exclusivity with the agent? Okay. Right, okay. So how do we get exclusivity with the agent? That's a good question. So first thing is that estate agents, believe it or not, they will do whatever you want. You want them to do. No, sorry. Estate agents will do whatever's required to sell the property. So if you require exclusivity, now I'm not saying go out and say to estate agent, "Hi, Mr. Estate Agent, I want exclusivity for 3 months," because they're going to tell you to get lost. What you need to do is you need to say to them, "I need exclusivity for a short period of time," so that maybe 3, 5, or even 7 days, so that you can be able to sell the property. Now, I've got documents which we've got exclusivity agreements which have been through hundreds of estate agents, and none of them have ever had a problem with signing it, because it is a very fair agreement. And it very simply says that we're going to find you a buyer, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and as a result of that, we're going to make sure that we get paid, you're going to get a buyer, and the transaction is going to go through. So you get actually access to that document. Okay, so Nav has said, right, okay, so sorry, Zama has asked, is it the same price for the live stream bootcamp? Unfortunately, yes, it is, because you still get all the documents, you still get all the live, you still get all the content, you still get all the recordings, you can still get all the contracts and everything. So yes, it is. Okay, so Yanni says, "Can you please repeat to us what we're waiting for from the bootcamp presentation?" Okay, Yanni, just so that you know, we will be showing you how to find deals. We'll also be showing you how to evaluate the deals. We'll be showing you how to package the deals. We'll be showing you how to sell the deals. It's pretty much the full process. We'll be showing you how to build your buyer database. We'll be showing you how to nurture your database. We'll be showing you how to put the adverts together. We'll be showing you how to create the adverts. We'll be showing you the systems that's all behind it. So yes, there's a lot that goes on in that workshop. Okay, Nav says, "Will you be showing us how to build a buyer database?" Yes, exactly. So I'll be showing you how I started it. I'll be showing you how to do it in the digital age. I'll be showing you, because on the basis that we're now, hopefully, when I say hopefully, we're working on the basis of trying to get my database up to 250,000 by the start of 2018. We're currently at 100,000. So I'll be showing you how you can do that too. Okay, so I think it's Yog. Yog says, is there a limit to how many deals we can put out through you if we join the network, the workshop? No, the more deals that you put through, obviously, the better for you. I need to make sure that you're putting the right deals through, and also making sure that they're the right deals and the right package, if that makes sense. So, just slowly moving. I've gone through a lot of the questions there. So, okay. So, what happens if you don't have enough time? Can you really build a property business in just one day a week? That's a perfectly normal question to ask. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve when you know exactly what you need to do and how to do it. If you can sacrifice one day from your weekend, then you can build a £60,000 a year deal trading business. And the reason why I say that is because going back to the scenario, is that last night when people were watching the fight, I decided to go off and find a deal. When you follow a proven system, you don't waste any time because the system is proven to work. Every minute is a highly productive, highly effective use of your time that gives you results overnight. You don't need previous experience. All you need to do is follow a proven system with consistent action. And all you have to do is sacrifice one day from your weekend to your property business, and you'll consistently trade one deal a month and make £60,000 cash flow. And you will have a buyer for your deal when you JV with me. This means that all you have to do is source the deal and let me take care of the rest. There are no ongoing management of tenants. There are no, so if you mess up on one deal, don't worry about it because you learn from the experience and then move on to the next. You won't lose money by making a mistake. You won't lose money by being paralysed by fear. And you won't lose money by not taking action. And you will only lose money by not taking any action. So what happens if you can't or you don't want to? I'll show you exactly how to do this on the deal trading bootcamp. Or if you can't negotiate, because what we'll do, we'll actually practice this on the workshop. So if you do it for real the first time, it'll actually be your 10th time. Does that make sense? Because we'll be covering it over and over again on the workshop. So what we'll do is you've got to ask yourself, is deal trading right for me? If you're smart, hungry and motivated, then this is for you. If you want property cash flow to transform the quality of your life, then this is for you. If you're looking for the fastest way to turn hard work into cash, then this is for you. And again, it's all backed by the money back guarantee. And all you have to do is make sure that you can either attend in person, either attend the live stream from the comfort of your own home, or purchase the recording, which I've got the recording from the previous workshop. So you could start as pretty much as early as tomorrow. Anyone that books on the workshop gets a recording of the last workshop straight away so that you can start working on it so that when you turn up on the 16th and 17th, you'll already have your questions lined up ready for it. So again, with all this support and help, how can you possibly fail? So again, go to Deal Trading Bootcamp, bit.ly/Deal Trading Bootcamp. And as promised, I've said that we'd give you the questions. Let me just quickly, let me give you the ultimate vendor questions. So one thing that you've got to do, guys, is I've just put it in the link underneath, so you should have all that. I've just had to amend that because I've just realised that there was a slight mistake. So it's bit.ly/ultimate vendor questions, but ultimate vendor questions should all be on one line. So I've just put that link, just put it all in there. So Zama says, how do we purchase the previous recording? Zama, all you have to do is click on the link, the Deal Trading Bootcamp, and then what you'll do is it's the same price because you get all the documents, etc. We go from there. Okay, so a couple of questions that have come in again. is this for people with a full-time 9 to 5 job? How many hours per week do we need to devote? You know, as I say with everyone, the more you can devote to it, the better, the more success that you're going to get. However, you know, if you can only dedicate 1 day a week, if you can only dedicate 1 hour an evening, you know, then so be it. But the fact is that, you know, you're working more so on a focused basis because you know exactly what you're looking for. Does that make sense? You know exactly what you'll be looking for, and as a result of that, you'll be able to be a little bit more focused in your approach. So you've got both the links there. You've got both the links to the workshop, and you've got the links to the actual. You've got links to the workshop. You've got links to the ultimate medical questions. Heath asked, he goes, where is it based again? It's actually based in Birmingham. So I'll quickly put the link up as to where it was. So Yannick put, can we work on weekends? Yes, you can. There's no reason to, because estate agents still work on weekends, don't they? Okay, so James asked a good question. He goes, Osh, please, do you get ongoing support after training the boot camp whilst learning the ropes of deal trading? I'm very generous with my time, James, and hopefully what you'll find that as well. So that after the workshop, if there's any issues, yes, we've got Facebook groups where you can have on forum support as well as that. I've got no issue with people calling me up and having a chat with me thereafter. If they've got an issue or if they want a problem solving, I'm always on the end of the phone. You know, and that, I suppose that's one of the good things that people say, that I'm very easily, very accessible. That could be a good thing or a bad thing, but that's the feedback that I've had. So I suppose I've gone through all the question, guys. So what I'd like to do is say thank you. Okay, so Andrew's coming with a question. He goes, on the JVs, Osh, he goes, who takes the receipt of the fee? So here's how it works, guys. On the JV, what happens is that we sell the deal to a database. I will then hold the fee until that property exchanges. We can't release the fee just purely because if the deal falls through, then naturally that fee will have to be returned, or the majority of the fee will have to be returned. I always give 100% money back guarantee on all the deals. So if there's an issue with the title, if there's an issue with the structure of the property, if there's an issue with the survey, then they get 100% money back guarantee. So if I was to split that fee, and then for argument's sake, I'm not saying that would ever happen, but then I would have to chase you for the other 50% remainder of the fee. You decide to switch your phone off, etc. It kind of leaves me in a sticky situation. So all the money that we charge is held in an escrow account or like a deposit account, which is what you have to do. One part of the course that I forgot that we mentioned on is property trading compliance. So to make sure that that's all dealt with, so that you know exactly what to do and how to do it, and make sure that it's legally compliant. And then once the property exchange or completes, or whichever sooner, that's when the fee is split. So just so that you know, we're 100% transparent on that. So I'd like to say thank you very much for your time. Thank you for learning on how to replace your salary with property cash flow within 3 months, without a deposit or any of your own savings, without any previous property experience, or juggling a demanding full-time job when you need to trade deals. Hope you can now see how anyone can get quick results without when they follow a proven strategy with a consistent action. And if you still have unanswered questions, please let me know. So give me a call on my mobile. So you've got my personal mobile number. I may be available for about 10 minutes after the webinar whilst I'm just wrapping up. Or you can send me an email. Admittedly, mobile, I'm always better on mobile because for every one email that I write, another 5 comes in. So I find it a little bit difficult on email, admittedly. But I'm great on the phone, so I'm always approachable, easy to get hold of on the phone. So if you want to have a chat, etc., whatever you want to do, feel free to come back to me. So guys, on that note, I wish you all the very best of the evening. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Okay, so one final question from Ivana. Hi, Ivana. Hope you're well. He goes, who does the DD on the investor if JV with you? So basically, anyone that purchases the property through us, the investor, if the investor is our investor, then we will do the DD. So in that respect, we'll ask for proof of funds. We'll make sure that they go through our funding system, whether they've got whether they use our broker, whether they use their broker. We'll want to see a decision in principle. So we'll make sure that that all happens. So you don't need to worry about that, Ivana. Hopefully that helps. If there are any other questions, feel free to give me a call, like I said, or if you want to send me an email, and I'll get looking into that. But on that, I wish you all the very best for the evening, and I no doubt I will speak to you all very soon. If not, I will see you on the 16th and 17th of September in Birmingham. Take care. Good night. God bless.